stuff plagiarized?
Enough of it that it's all been scrubbed from the record.
That sucks.
What
Okay,
from? Oh no,
so
Bruce Falconer's stuff.
is everybody ready?
Well, there was a Japanese fellow that did a fair amount of plagiarism as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Kenji Yamamoto.
Okay, is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Are you?
Okay, everybody. Welcome to Weabop, the show where everything is made up and the points don't matter. That's right, the points don't matter. They're like a side character in Dragon Ball Super.
That's not our intro. That's not our intro at all.
Dragon Ball Super is the series where side. Herb that shit real quick.
Huh?
Yeah, that's right. The side characters are more important than ever in DBS.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
They have been. Yeah, they have been. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all
especially
quite
Tien,
relevant.
right? Tien's been very relevant recently.
Listen, motherfucker. All right.
Okay.
What you're not gonna do is trash talk my boy Ten Shinhan on our show.
Hey,
Right.
at least he got into Dragon Ball Fighters. That's what really matters.
And he looks really cool.
He's the shit. He's Ten Shinhan.
I mean, he doesn't look as cool as Yamcha, though.
Hey, shut up.
I'm so
glad,
ready.
I'm glad Yamcha just sucked enough to become a meme, and now it's funny. That he
Well,
sucks.
they made his KO like animation, his fucking or like when it like hit the way that they have him on the ground when you KO him is the same exact way that he looks in the episode of Dragon Ball Z when he gets fucking Cybermen.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah.
Or I'm not aware of that particularly, but I'm aware that that's mimetic now.
Yeah.
I recently picked up one of them free-to-play mobile games that my dear friends EJ and others have been playing called Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. And the long and short of it is it's like a puzzle card game at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And the best Yamcha card in the game is of him dead.
That's fucking hilarious.
It's like it's the highest rarity, it's the best one, and yeah, it's dead Yamcha laid out on the ground.
It's like if any character ever had the worst turnaround in a series ever, it was Yamcha. Like in Dragon Ball, he was kind of cool and like he wasn't a bad fighter, and then Dragon Ball Z happened.
He was cool enough in Dragon Ball, but was still kind of a goofball.
Yeah, but he wasn't completely. He wasn't like the useless joke character.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah,
Krillin
that was
was
also-
more useless than he was.
In Dragon Ball?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
Krillin
how many
has
times did
good moments,
Yamcha
though.
die in Dragon Ball?
I mean,
None.
that's not fair to say because Roshi, Chaozu, Krillin, the moon a couple of times.
A couple of times.
the eternal dragon gets killed in Dragon Ball.
Oh right, yeah, that was.
Fuck,
that was
I
an
don't
awesome
remember
moment.
that shit.
Yeah,
That was
freaking-
Demon King Piccolo did it.
Oh yeah. That happened towards the end of the
Yeah,
series. It got weird.
Yeah, it was like after he's like, can you wish? Can you?
he
make
he
me
wanted to
young
be
again?"
returned to the prime of his youth. Yeah, and then the dragon was like, bet. And then he killed the dragon.
Yeah, it's like there's one last thing you can do for me. Mouth lasers him, and
That's
And
awesome.
the dragon dies, and everybody's all fucking devastated. You know, until we remember that Kami can make new Dragon Balls.
That is
Or
awesome.
how did it work?
So
that was
did-
actually before we were introduced to Kami. Actually,
So let's just go.
Was he still
because-
Shin?
Okay, well, real quick, because this does roll into the topic that we were going to have anyways, so might as well just bring up the topic and then get back to talking. We're talking about
okay.
movies and shows. Very vague topic because there's a lot of stuff to gush about. So go ahead, go back to Dragon Ball, because and you can tangent into Super.
Yeah, let's just get. You know what? Let's get our 5 minutes of this episode out of the way. Oh my god, this episode of Dragon Ball Super.
a lot happened.
It was a dense feelings roller coaster. There was a small amount of hype. You know,
Yeah.
I particularly enjoyed 17 and 18 being dicks and like getting in on the Universe 2 rhetoric. You
Yeah,
know,
before we go
before
in,
eliminating them forever.
before we go in, yeah, well, too late now, but spoiler alert.
Spoilers. You know, if longtime fans of the show should know, and the uninitiated need to get used to it. So
Yeah, but
spoilers.
yeah. So two
I have a feeling.
universes, two.
Real quick, let me just say one thing. I have a feeling that there's two groups of DBZ fans right now. There's those that watch Super and those that don't care about Super. So, I honestly think
It's-
everyone's probably either on the same page as you or they don't care.
Right.
This is true. They're the ones that watch Super and then
There's like me, where it's like, that sounds cool. I would like to see those characters in fighters. Whatever.
Honestly,
though.
it's rabid fans versus rabid opponents of the show.
Well, I mean, I don't mind that it exists. It's kind of like GT all over again, but it's like people are like, no, it's actually good though, and it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm still not very interested, but that's cool.
I'm in a group chat on or not on Facebook. I guess it's just regular old SMS group chat with a number of former coworkers. That is just, every episode is them going, "What the fuck? God damn it!" and me being like, "But it's so hype. It's Dragon Ball. What are you talking about? It's fucking great." So yeah, long list of happenings this episode. Universe 2, Universe 6, both completely eliminated from the tournament forever, and what were a pair of heartbreaking moments. Beerus not being frenetic or ice cold, just kind of being hurt that his brother's gone potentially forever, depending on whether or not Frieza's the last man standing in this tournament.
Yeah.
Universe 2 went out with grace and style.
Yeah, Universe 2 did. Like, this universe was just hanging on by a thread and was doing everything in its power to piss me off. But
You specifically?
Me and a bunch of other people, I'm pretty sure, like
the fan base as a whole, I think.
Yeah, it's that thing. It's like one of those things where it's like you're tired of it and you just want it to go away, and it's ready to go, but not before it jabs you in the gut like one last time. And this is kind of what Universe 2 did.
So yeah, the last three fighters standing in Universe 2, whose entire theme is love and feelings and love and love and love in other languages and love and the power of love.
And Sailor Moon transformations, very ugly Sailor Moon transformations.
That's
okay.
No, they're all pretty bad looking. They're all very much sendbacks to like really hideous 80s anime.
I like the other two that aren't Ribrianne.
Well, that's just because Ribrianne's the loudest, and she's fat and female, and I think that you're fattest, and for not liking her, and I think you need to check that shit. I don't like Ribrianne because she's fucking infuriating.
No. Like
it has nothing to do with her weight.
No. Ribrianne has nothing to do with her weight either. And how dare you assume that?
You're sexist. That is.
It's not. No, stop it, please.
Why do you hate fat people? Do you hate me, or is it just women?
I love you.
Are you a fattest misogynist?
No. Stop.
I can't. It's too late.
I want out. I want out of this.
Where's the pull cord? Eject.
Right? The last three warriors in Universe 2 who are hideous, no-name, like really bad Toriyama OC looking characters.
They looked okay.
I'm sorry, but real quick, can I just say that most of the super characters do look like shitty DBZ OC characters? Just throwing that out there.
I'm gonna, as a creative person, I'm gonna come to the development team's defense on that. They were tasked with coming up with 50 fucking unique characters for this Tournament of Power.
Yeah.
And brilliant, inspired design prowess or not, you're gonna have some boring looking people.
And I'm going to go ahead and defend these three characters real quick.
Sirloin and company.
Yeah, they're.
Wait! From Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
No.
I still can't believe that dude's name is fucking Sirloin.
It's Sirloin, I believe. Okay. I'm sure I'll be corrected in the comment section if I'm incorrect, but
no, you won't. No one's watching yet.
Honestly, I didn't mind their designs. I thought, especially like the yellow man, he had a kind of cool design, and the orangish one, they had decent designs in my opinion, until this happens.
They all turn into the same costumes as the girls. Including the biggest, buffest one getting a big fat pair of titties when he turns into Ribrianne, who's the hideous pink one we showed you a couple weeks back. Yeah. Which is why I was saying I'm super excited for all that porn to come out.
Did I hear? Did I hear Yellow Man?
He's a yellow fella,
like Yellow Bastard.
No, he was this like yellow skinned old man with a he kind of had a speed racer outfit. See,
now I've just got the image. Now I've just got the image of the dude with the prosthetics in Sin City, just dressed as Speed Racer.
Yeah, like he had a speed
That's
racer
an
outfit.
interesting image.
Yeah. And he's doing the speed racer pose in front of the car with that big bulbous head.
And I think that speed racer outfit was kind of why I didn't hate him.
I mean, that's fair.
We need a
and,
speed racer remake. That's what we need.
And like the other one was like reddish and had a dual. Anyway,
The other one looked like a Dragon Ball demon, but less inspired.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they transform, and to no surprise to anyone, they get more powerful.
Of course, it's transformation.
And then they get jobbed 5 actual seconds later.
Yeah, well, not before. Like they had a fight with they were picking a fight with Goku, and then 17 and 18 come in, and they are awesome whenever they're like. I'm actually glad about this fight because it just gives 17 and 18 more time to shine.
Yeah, I mean, everything that they do in the tournament is cool. Like,
yeah, I will say one thing: the three like Sirloin and Company, they do an attack that I thought was kind of cool.
oh yeah, they take the you know, a lot of their stuff is extrapolated from the concept of love, like in literature and in poetry, and so there's a lot of fruity prose about the idea of love and the weight it carries and whatever. And these 3 guys, after they transformed, pulled out the legendary destructive move of love, where they harness the weight of it that it bears on your heart and shoulders, and they make a fucking heart-shaped black hole, and they try to kill Goku and the 2 androids with it. And,
it was
you
like
know,
a gravity
it doesn't pan out, but it's fucking cool. Yeah, it's a big gravity bomb.
Yeah, it was like a gravity well, and their goal was for them to just sink down into the stadium where they will eventually ring out, and that was actually kind of a cool like attack.
The way of the strategy behind the attack sounds cool, but the fucking attack itself sounds dumb as shit.
I mean,
it
was
a giant
a little
heart-shaped. It was a giant heart-shaped gravity well, so yeah.
But we got to see briefly Kami and Nail appear to Piccolo and give him like a kick in the butt, be like, "Hey man, try harder."
Yeah. Okay, so
Ultimate Gohan was bodying Namekians. It was just all great, solid episode.
Yeah, we'll go to that. We'll go to that fight real quick. So Gohan and Piccolo square up with Selenel and Purina, the Universe 6 Namekians. And remember what I said last episode, where I had a feeling that Selenel and Purina fused with their race?
Were you right?
Did. They totally did.
They sucked up the entirety of the Namek race.
Like before the tournament of power, they explained that they were on their home planet, and the entire population of Universe 6 Namek was like talking. It's like, we need to create like 2 powerful warriors to send to tournament of power. Like, that is our resolve to keep our universe.
Yeah,
and
that's pretty amazing, actually, when you think about it.
Yeah, for the good of all creation, we're gonna put our entirety into 2 beings. Yeah, and it's extra sad too, because they got father son Kamehameha by Piccolo and Gohan.
Oh wait, Piccolo and Gohan? That's rad though.
Yeah, it's Gohan's ultimate and letting loose a big Kamehameha, and then Piccolo kind of double taps him from behind with his special beam cannon.
Probably the most powerful special beam cannon he's ever fired. It looked really cool.
I was like, oh shit, because he fired one, and it's the only one that's ever not worked in all of Dragon Ball. It just bounced off this guy's abs. He was like, what the fuck was that?
See, the way I would want to fight to end with Piccolo and Gohan now is have, like, Piccolo setting up Hellzone Grenade, and they're, like, flying out, and they're like, I see the exit. This is the blind spot. And as he's going out, Gohan just flies down, just, Masenko! The throwback to that classic
I want Gohan to learn Makin Kosopo so bad.
Which that one?
And it's never gonna... That's the lead for best special beam cannon.
Yeah, you are a
Makin
weeb.
Kosopo.
That's a stupid-ass name. Special beam cannon sounds cooler.
We actually did get to see an appearance of Hellzone Grenade this episode, which was super hype.
That's good. I love that.
Yeah.
Like, I went, oh shit, on my porch, because he just let it rip.
I want to see
what Christian was talking about. They did a thing where, like, the Universe 6 Namekians, one of them did a giant, like, mouth blast on both Gohan and Piccolo. And this was probably the coolest sequence of this episode, in my opinion. Piccolo was unconscious, and, like, he wakes up, and he sees, like, Nail and Kami, like, pointing. He's like, you need to get up. You've got a battle to win. And when
their eyes are, like, darked out. They don't say anything, but there's the visual of it.
Yeah, they're like phantoms at this point. Like that was
Yeah.
really cool that they got acknowledged. And Piccolo looks up, and he sees Gohan like standing in the way of the mouth blast that I think it was Solonel that did. One of the Namekians.
The one with big Vegeta gloves.
Yeah. The big Namekian. Anyway, but Gohan is like standing right in front of Piccolo in the same style as how Piccolo blocked Nappa's shot when Gohan
Oh
was asleep.
yeah.
And like Gohan's fine though. He didn't die or anything, but he blocked a shot like in the same style as Piccolo blocked Nappa's shot back then. He's like, "Come on, Piccolo, we gotta fight to win."
You and me are gonna stand and fight together. Never mind that Goku's just been getting his ass whooped the whole time.
That ain't his daddy.
Ganged up on by
that
every
ain't his
universe.
daddy.
Yeah.
Maybe his father, but sure as hell ain't his daddy.
He's your father, boy, but he sure as hell ain't your daddy.
Yep.
Let's segue on that. Let's go to another behind the scenes conversation here. Holy shit! Finally caught up on the Marvel Cinematic Universe today, and so many reasons to cry like a baby.
Oh my god, no, dude!
Guardians 2, the whole third act, I was just a sniveling, snot bubbling little boy.
So real quick, we'll just say this because I do want to spoilers for Guardians 2. It's been out for a bit, so I have a feeling most people have seen it.
Pretty much rest of the episode, spoilers.
Yeah, if we mention something, it's gonna be spoilers for it. I'll try to remember here. I can start marking those, and I'll put buttons for timestamps. So when we end this, we gotta check my timer. Okay, so the funeral at the end of Guardians 2. Holy shit! I could not stop crying. It was waterfalls, bro. Especially when you see Stallone in them. Oh god. Yeah. So I think that is my favorite Marvel movie right now. Like it's
Guardians 2. That's fair.
Definitely high up there. It's like Guardians 2. I would say Guardians 2, Iron Man 1 is high up there for me too. I don't know what it is about that movie, but I fucking loved it. And
Thor 3 might actually be my new.
I haven't seen Ragnarok yet. I have not seen Ragnarok.
Yeah, y'all need to go see Ragnarok because it's pretty damn good.
I know, but it's just like I still need to see 2, and I hear 2 is like so boring.
Dark World is not particularly entertaining. You should see it though because it introduces the reality stone.
I still need to see Age of Ultron. I heard Age of Ultron is shit too.
Well,
Age of Ultron is entertaining.
Yeah, Age of Ultron's entertaining, and that's Vision's first appearance. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's also where they introduced. Well, they don't I guess she shows up in a different movie, but that's the first time you get actual screen time of Scarlet Witch. It's just like. The stakes are there and they're presented correctly, but then you realize it's all of the Avengers just fighting an army of super destructible robots.
Yeah.
And you're like, but
that's
but
the
other
whole
than
thing.
that,
That's
it's
the
not
formula
like
now.
it's not like it's flat. It's just
That's the formula currently for the Marvel movies. You have to set them up some expendable army for them to tear through in every movie. That's why I haven't. I can't remember. Did Black Panther come out yet?
That's not necessarily true. No, Black Panther's not out till next year. I want to say.
Man, I'm so excited for that one. Well, which one besides obviously Civil War where they fight each other? Well, Civil War where they fight each other. Which ones do they not just tear through an army of shitters?
Okay, Captain America 1. Captain America 2.
Okay, Captain America Civil War. That's what I just said, not counting Civil War.
Iron Man
and Captain America 1, it was montages of him fucking up Nazis. So I mean,
yeah, but that's not shitters.
Yeah, that's shitters. That's still shitters.
Nazis. It's different.
Yeah, but they're still throwaways. They're expendables.
Ant-Man, he's not doing it.
True. Well, that's also not one of the ones with like multi-heroes. That's more of like what I'm talking about. I mean, Thor, they're starting to do that now.
So the crossover movies.
Yeah, more so, yeah.
Okay, Spider-Man Homecoming.
I haven't seen that one yet. I've heard that one's really good, though.
It's my favorite Spider-Man movie.
I mean, that doesn't really say too much, in all honesty, because like
it does because you know how people are super hard for nostalgia, like forever.
Dude, no. In all honesty, for me, I think the Amazing ones, like even with their shitty ass, as in like the Amazing title, not the actual like
the
being amazing ones. Yeah, I would say that if you can get past the shit ass CG, those are better than the Tobey Maguire ones, even with the shoehorned in ass fucking Green Goblin.
Yeah, I know in Homecoming, Michael Keaton as Vulture, probably the best villain in the MCU right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Except maybe for Ego. Ego's really good from Guardians
Ego's
2.
Yeah,
Ego's
Ego
good
was
too.
great.
He's like really just a great performance by Kurt Russell the whole way around.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like upset that with like the C-lister characters, like Marvel's kind of just throwing them everywhere, so there's like no real spot for you to get dedicated Marvelverse outside of the movies. Because like Hulu has Runaways, which from what I've heard is like somewhat accurate but still really flat, which is really sad because I like the comic.
My friend EJ is real big into it. He's been trying to get
He's
me
digging
and
it.
others to watch it. Yeah,
You should give it a shot then. Let me know if it's worth it, and then I'll tell you if it's accurate. Maybe I should
was
try it.
yeah, just check it out.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Velociraptor or whatever has shown up yet, but
No, it has. And they made it more like the comic one where it doesn't have feathers and stuff.
What is this you're talking about?
Runaways. It's
Runaways?
it's a side comic that came out a while ago about these kids that find out their parents are part of like a supervillain legion.
yeah.
Oh.
It's really
Sounds
the comic's really good, and like it went on for a while and had a pretty damn good story at times. From what I heard, I read the volumes up to like the first story's conclusion, and then the one right after that. But I kind of fell off on it because it was at our high school. They had all of the volumes, so I just like read through them.
Right.
But yeah, from what I heard, as time went on, they essentially like did the thing that a lot of animes do, where it's like good arc, bad arc, good arc, bad arc, good arc, bad arc.
Yeah, which
That tends to happen. I mean, in all honesty, if the bad
it's a
arcs
unique
aren't,
enough concept on its own that you can't expect it to stay fresh and interesting the whole
Yeah.
time that it's serialized.
yeah, my thing about it was that I thought was really cool was like the mix of Marvel verse kind of powers. Like there's a character with magic, there's a character that's born a mutant, there's a character that's like a genetic like experiment kind of thing, there's a character that has tech. It's like all kinds of like, influences from the Marvel verse that are coherently done together. It's until like a mini Avengers essentially.
Yeah.
It's like, but the thing is, what was it? Cloak and Dagger. They got a show, but it was like with CISO or some like weird, like streaming service that no one fucking watches. And my whole thing was like, even if that was like all right, like barely, like if it came in just under par for the rest of like the television shows, like Peggy Carter and even like, I mean, I think Daredevil and those are probably better than the Agent Carter. But like, if it was,
I want to say Agent Carter is notoriously not good.
I didn't mind it. It was campy, but I mean, it's better than Shield. Shield. When I watched Agents of Shield, I got bored like off the bat. But Agent Carter at least had some fun characters and like some like a little bit of intrigue to it. So it was like, it wasn't bad. But I would say if it was like on that level towards like cheesy, but like still enjoyable for some people, and that's fine. But it's like it's not even on Hulu or Amazon or Netflix where it's easily found. You have to go to some fucking weird ass service that no one has.
Yeah, I'm sure a part of that is Disney, Marvel, Lucasfilms. I don't know, Nabisco, fucking General Mills.
Nabisco.
Yeah, weird licensing shit.
They're biding their time, waiting for their own streaming service to drop.
Well, I just want.
I had to guess.
Oh yeah, that's true. But like, my whole thing is when that happens, I really want Disney to do like a bunch of exclusives for it because there's a lot of really cool side stories and like miniseries that Marvel did that would make for a great miniseries in television form. Like Moon Knight as a miniseries would be phenomenal.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I would love to see a Moon Knight series.
I just happened to see a blurb on that on Facebook today. Like, is Moonlight? Is it happening? And,
If it
I
does,
mean, I'm down. He's a really cool character. He's interesting in the comics lately too because he's fucking extra insane. Like he doesn't know that he's Moon Knight currently.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, like the first couple of issues take place from his perspective in an asylum of his latest run. Anyway, so it's cool.
Yeah, the first time I ever saw Moon Knight was in that that beat 'em up, the Ultimate Alliance. where he
Ultimate
was-
Alliance.
where he was
It's a
actually a
cool
playable
game.
character, and I saw him there, and I'm like, oh, this dude's like this like black and white dude, and like in like a hood and everything,
Mhm.
had a bow staff and shit. I'm like, this
He's
dude's
like-
sick.
He's
Who
like if
is he?
Taskmaster and Batman had a magic baby.
I think
Yeah,
I think Moon Knight is one of the coolest Batmans. You know, Marvel has like a fucking baker's dozen of Batmans.
They've got a small handful of Batman.
Yeah, they've got no, not a small handful, dude. You got to realize, along with like the obvious ones, Iron Man, War Machine.
Oh no, I was being
Daredevil.
facetious. I know they have a.
Oh
shitload of
yeah,
Batman.
no, I'm about to say there's Night Thrasher. There's all of the offshoots of Iron Man. So there's also Rescue and shit like that.
Daredevil.
yeah.
There's,
There's
I
the-
I think Iron Man is his own thing. I don't want to say Iron Man. Is
No,
Batman.
I think if anyone is Batman in the Marvelverse, it is fucking
Iron
Tony
Man.
Stark. The parallels are ridiculous.
The inexhaustible wealth and the almost insulting to your teammates level of planning that he does.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
I guess that's fair. I
Yeah,
just don't
and
wanna,
if you think about it, like the
he
way
feels
they
different though to me.
no, well, that's because that's also where Marvel did their best way. Like Marvel, as much as I love them, they're not the most original company. Their whole thing is that they're good with flair and they make characters feel like their own. If you look at most of their big characters, they're probably a ripoff of something from DC, just done in a way that makes it either feel fresh and different or it's like super original in its own right. The only exceptions I can think of are like Spider-Man is completely original. I can't think of anything like him in DC.
Yeah, nobody can touch Spider-Man. But I mean, yeah, nobody can touch Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. But like most of the characters from Marvel, if you think about it, there's something from DC that's like it. But it's like, oh well, whose is cooler though? Marvel's.
Yeah,
yes.
well, I mean, DC has. They both have their own unique characters. Like,
Yeah.
you could
I would
you could argue that Thor is a shade of Wonder Woman if you're just going straight off the notion that like, that kind of deity just is what that is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
But
could
I think-
argue. I could argue with like some like a bunch of X-Men are kind of like their own thing.
Yeah,
Like,
no, the
Wolverine-
X-Men as a
Wolverine
premise, the X-Men as a premise was very original. But like, if you look at a lot of the characters, especially like, I mean, even Wolverine. If you look back at like, I want to say is it Doom Squad that had like Wild Child or whatever it is, where it's like the fucking there's some
Wild
char-
Child is Sabretooth's son, I think.
Okay, well, I'm trying to think.
And I want to say that they rolled him out in Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. But there's some DC character that's like a primal character where it's like they were like pretty much raised by woolly wolves or something, and I can't remember what the fuck he was from some B list. But that's the thing. It's like who cares half the time.
What's a feral DC character? There's the Creeper. The Creeper's cool. He's that one that runs around in the green speedo and the big red feather boa.
Yeah, that's Wolverine.
Animal Man. Animal Man is one of them. He's not like feral though. He just talks to animals.
I'm just saying though, the one thing that Wolverine had that was original was the blades coming out of the hands. But like there were characters that were like, I'm the feral guy. Rawr.
And there's also like Cheetah and Vixen that are
Exactly.
Kind of,
yeah. But I'm just saying
Yeah,
that's where Marvel shines though. They take these characters and they're like, how can we make it interesting? I got it. He's got katanas that come out of his fists.
I will say though, and oh gosh, I might get sacrilege to hell for saying this.
No, you're fine.
You
No
don't
one's
like
gonna
Wolverine
see
that
it.
much?
No. I think the Atom might be a tad cooler than Ant-Man.
Oh no, I agree.
Yeah.
And I even like Ant-Man. I agree because Ant-Man, no joke, Ant-Man's better as a regular human character than he is a superhero. Like when they talk about his personal life and the world around him, it's far more
He beats his
interesting.
wife.
Well, dude, the thing is that he is a redemption storyline. That's like when I heard that they took that out of the Ant-Man movie, I lost most of my interest in it because it's supposed to be like this guy. It's. I mean,
Yeah, Hank Pym was kind of a shitty.
he is. But the thing is, he like he realizes it.
Original creator of Ultron and
Yeah, like he realizes he's a shitty person and he tries to fix things. You know, like part of the comic was him like going back to Wasp and being like, "Look, I'm a bad person. I'm working on it." I mean, even fucking Marvel Zombies touched on that because they mention it about how it was happening before the apocalypse happened.
yeah.
It's like
Was it Marvel Zombies where the Blob ate the Wasp?
No, that was like regular comics, bro. The Wasp
I think
actually.
that was. I
Yeah.
think that was Civil War when that happened.
It was something
Was it
crazy
Civil
like
War?
that.
All I know is that it was super raw because he got huge.
Mhm.
He swole up and then bit fucking Blob's head off.
Well, maybe no. I'm trying to remember because in Marvel Zombies, Wasp survives. She loses her body, but she survives. She was a zombie, and something happens, and then like they contain her head, and they find out that like after a certain amount of time, they stop being hungry for flesh as long as they don't have it. And so like it's in Marvel Zombies 3 where this crazy plot line happens where like a zombie breaks into Black Panther's tent and bites him. And no. I remember what it was. He's currently like the king of the rest of the humans, and someone like tries to usurp him and tries to kill him in the night. And they like stab him, and Wasp is like the only way for him to survive is for me to bite him and make him a zombie. And everyone's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? It's crazy." And he's like, "No, it worked for me. I'll bite him. You have to lock us in this room. You cannot let us out until the known time passes. We will be hungry for flesh. It will ruin your lives if you do not listen to me right now. I will try to trick you. I'm going to turn him a zombie. We can do this." And it was like a huge plot point. I don't remember what happened afterwards because I never actually finished that plot line, but it was pretty cool at the time.
Huh.
I kind of liked where the Marvel zombie universe went because it's like one storyline is like the Walking Dead super serious mode, and the other side is like, we are zombies that ate Galactus, and now we are the force of Galactus that eats all of space. Like Wolverine is missing his legs, and he like just rockets through the skies.
Yeah.
It's so fucking beautiful.
Marvel is also really not afraid to be fucking ridiculous.
Well, that's what the new line that they did with Marvel Max. Like one of the comics in it is Frankencastle, where it's just Frank Castle dies and gets turned into a fucking Frankenstein monster.
Okay, so I got it. The comic where Blob eats Wasp is Ultimatum, is what it's called.
Uh-huh.
And Wasp was drowning already. Like she was drowned, so she was already dead when he did it. And shortly afterwards, freaking Hank Pym or Ant-Man grows in size and bites Blob's head off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's Jesus, what the hell? I'm looking at a lot of these character deaths. Cyclops was like shot in the head by Quicksilver.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird deaths in Marvel.
I know that for a fact the one of the worst deaths I've ever seen in Marvel Comics.
Oh shit! Dr. Doom got his head crushed by the Thing.
Actual Spider-Man being killed by Sandman in Marvel Zombies.
Oh.
Who?
Actual Spider-Man, like Earth 616 Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
He I forget through what circumstance it happens, but he managed to find his way into the Zombieverse. And it just so happens that right immediately after he pops up when he pops up happens to be a few minutes right after Sandman happened to see one of the Sinister Six get like killed and eaten by zombie Spider-Man. And so he's like, well, I ain't with this shit. And he turns into sand, and like straight out of a vor fetish thing, he just fills real Spider-Man until his insides explode with bloody sand.
Jesus.
And he like there's 4 or 5 panels of him staggering with a huge belly before it ruptures. It was fucking horrible. Like it's the kind of thing that would have happened to Deadpool, but like Spider-Man.
That was Marvel Zombies was just full of gruesome moments, like when fucking Hulk just like went on an eating spree, and then when he reverted back to Bruce, like his stomach just ruptured.
Hulk with the zombies, bruh. Zombie Space Hulk was the shit.
Okay, so I just remembered something that I wanted to talk about for the topic today because it's a show that I finally caught up on, and because Adam, you said you wanted to change it from just movies to movies and shows.
Yeah, that's what we were doing, I believe.
Yeah, so I want to talk about a show I finally went back and finished, and that is Gravity Falls. Have either of you guys watched that?
I've only seen like episodes here and there, but I know it's a great show. I know it's a fantastic
I've only ever meant to, and it's got so many parallels between their creative teams and the actual plot lines with like Rick and Morty and Steven Universe. Like, I feel like I have to.
The thing is, I'll tell you right now, Especially as far as American cartoons go, it's easily number one in this regard. But as far as like a lot of series in general, I don't think a series has wrapped up its like ending so perfectly. Like they did a 3-part miniseries for the finale, and each episode ran in an hour block. So each episode was 45 minutes, you know, and or a limited commercial hour block, and fucking hell, like it's like I said, its finale is absolutely perfect. If they never come back to it whatsoever, it'll be perfectly fine. But they left it to where if they wanted to, they could come back with all the same characters and essentially do a brand new story that makes complete sense. Like they didn't do a complete cliffhanger, but it's like because of one of the plot threads within basically within the setting. It's not a big spoiler because you find this out over time. Where basically the city is just a magnet for weird. So it's like they wrap up the big mystery at the end of the series, and it's like, well, there's always anomalies in this city. They can easily have the characters come back and something weird happens. Like something big weird, you know? So it's like the Weird Mageddon 3-part finale was just absolutely phenomenal. I would love to talk spoilers on it, but you guys obviously
you'd rather rewatch it with fresh eyes.
Oh my god, yes, because the thing is, one of the greatest things about it, like Steven Universe does this to a sense. From what I know, Rick and Morty does it to a lesser degree, but basically, they would hint at things that would happen like in the future. That's, you know, foreshadowing, whatever. But one of the big things is he has this journal that he's constantly flipping through that has like a catalog of all the weird shit in town. And there's like weird runes and symbols and shit in it. And at the end of each episode, they would flash a page of the book real fast. And fans were able to decipher, like they were able to create their own codex and decipher what the pages meant. And and before the final episode came out, like a third into the series, people already knew exactly how the story was going to play out.
Oh yeah?
They were like, this was a prophecy that is written in the storyline. And like at the finale, one of the characters he's like, this is the prophecy, and like you know that at one moment that fan base had to have just immediately shit their pants. Like we were right, we knew it.
Some other sort of bodily expulsion.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it was one. It's like when it's like in Steven Universe when people found out that Garnet was a fusion, everyone was like, "What the fuck?"
Fucking called it.
Yeah, exactly. Like that moment. Like imagine that happening for an entire storyline that has to do with like the apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay,
it was
so
just
kind of like the same feeling as me, where I screamed, I totally called it once the Universe 6 and
pretty much.
were confirmed. Were
But-
confirmed to absorb their entire race.
The difference here though is
I was excited. I screamed a lot. My mom was like next to me. She was like, what the hell? I'm like, okay.
Well, here's the thing though,
It's not
like
a phase, Mom.
it wasn't like a simple shot and people like deciphered something from it. It was like multiple episodes of multiple cryptic clues and small things, like people having to screen grab shots from episodes and zoom in on books and stuff like that and find symbols and shit, you know?
All kinds of ridiculous background
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Also,
I really love a show that respects its own source material
yeah,
to
no,
that extent.
it's really like you can tell that Alex Hirsch had the entire series written before like it even started. Like he knew exactly how it was going to go, and I can respect that.
Play out like that.
But one thing that was really cool though was for the finale they changed the intro, and it's one of the best touches I've ever seen for a show because like. They just take it to a whole nother level, and you're just watching the intro, just like, what is going on? It's so good. Like I gotta say, it's like that isn't my favorite American cartoon show, and it's near the top for my favorite like ongoing storyline cartoon. But it's got like the strongest finale of any show I've seen in ages. Like. Sozin's Comet was kind of good, but, you know, there was, like, a lot of forced shit, whereas, like, this felt perfect. There was, like, all these things where it's, like, stuff had happened earlier, and they harken back to it, and it just makes sense. Like, it feels coherent.
Yeah.
It was, oh, God.
What is your favorite American cartoon show for the sake of making
Steven Universe. Steven Universe is just killing it. Like, especially since I'm completely caught up. I saw the newest Steven Bomb. It's just on a whole nother level, dude.
I haven't even seen.
Oh my god, man! Like, I'll tell you right now, it's a townie. It's a townie Steven bomb. It's a townie heavy Steven bomb, but it sets up.
I'm not the type of person that hates Steven Universe filler.
Yeah,
because I have a
it doesn't
atypical
feel
definition
like
of filler, I guess.
Like,
no, I think anything, especially with a character-driven show like that, if it develops characters, it's not filler.
I'm calling it now, though. Like, all of this is going to make the invasion so much harder to watch because the townies will be in danger, and we've grown attached to the townies, So, like,
I love all the townies.
Oh my god,
dude, Mayor Dewey,
pizza fish and stuff like that. Like, Nani or Nanny or whatever name. Oh my god, I love the grandmother.
Oh, Nanny, is it Grandma Nanny?
Is that like walking? Is that walking sentient like? Talking fry costume still a thing?
No, that was that was nightmare fuel for one episode.
I don't know shit. I don't know shit about Steven Universe, but the one episode I did see of Steven Universe was that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Actually, no. Two episodes. Like after that, I'm like, okay. I think we're done here. It was
honestly.
It was the Fry one, and it was the one where Steven, the main character, something happens to him and he like grows old and he fucking dies.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's a heartbreaking episode. That's the first episode of Steven Universe that made me get all feelsy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, son of a bitch.
I remember the first episode I saw was Together Breakfast, and after I saw that episode, I was like, I need to watch this show. Like, it was just so wonderful and charming, and I was like, I love all these characters instantly. I love Steven, and one of the best things about it is, like, the show, it never, like, places blame on someone, It's like, shit happens, let's just fix it.
I don't remember what it was, like, what episode it was, but I was watching just TV, and I happened upon, like, Steven Universe just kind of came on, and it was in, like, the middle of the very thick episode, season 1, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, I don't watch this show, but I know if I take the day to watch it, I'm gonna fucking love it.
Yeah.
And then that's what I did. Is I immediately illegally downloaded it and put down like the first fucking 70 episodes in a day or two, and I've been a big fan ever since.
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal.
Great. I love the show so much.
They've got the if I recall, the first 3 seasons are on Hulu. So, and the first 3 seasons is a good sizable chunk. That's up to, I know it gets through Jailbreak. It gets through to oh god, because it ends on one of the 2-parters. Fuck, I can't remember which one. But
season 1?
No, it
season
finishes.
1 ends on Rising Tides, Crashing Skies.
It finishes that one. It finishes that. Like I said, I know it goes through Jailbreak. It goes to season 3. I just can't remember what season 3's finale was. But yeah, dude, that's a series that I highly recommend you get on, especially since you like it. It reminds me so much of, I don't know why, because there aren't really any parallels, but it has the same vibing for me as like Dragon Ball Z, like early Dragon Ball Z. Like,
it's no, that's fair to say. Honestly, it pulls a lot from the anime.
Yeah, no, it's definitely heavily inspired by anime.
It pulls so much inspiration from shit from like ranging from Fooly Cooly to Astro Boy, to just all kinds of great stuff. It's crazy, and it does have that level of whimsy. I guess is the word for it, that like an early series Toriyama thing might have.
Yeah,
I'll admit it. It does look like a fun show, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it if I give it a fair swing. It's just, I don't know. And
I'll tell you right now, one thing.
Is it because it's about girls?
No.
And as we just established, you're a fattest misogynist.
Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
listen.
Amethyst is fat. That's what it is. He hates
Amethyst
fat people.
is thick.
Amethyst might actually be like my favorite character in that show, because I only saw a little bit of her.
Garnet's the best. You're objectively wrong.
Look here. I saw a little bit of Amethyst, and I'm like, I immediately loved her. She's kind of cool.
Everyone resonates with Amethyst, but Garnet is the best character.
Which one is Garnet, by the way?
She's
Garnet's
the girl.
the black one.
Yeah, with the badass square fro.
She's really cool.
Dude, she's the best fighter easily. She's fucking amazing.
Yeah, she seems like the real cool one.
She's so cool.
She's the strongest one of all of them
Yeah.
by like default. She's got feats that they're just casually like thrown out there. Like, well, you know, Garnet's the only one that can go in lava and be fine. So
Yeah, she can swim in lava and be perfectly fine.
Like that's just the trope that she is, just the unbelievably strong character.
She's got a lot. No, she has powers. Everyone
reason.
has their own powers that they're good at, and hers are just really fucking broken.
Yeah, like in Mythos, all of the gems exist to serve a hierarchy, and so all of the gems have a purpose that they're specifically grown for. And so, like Amethyst is a quartz, like Steven, and those are soldiers, and Garnet's a thing, and Pearl is like a luxury model kind
She's
of
like
gem
a
that
slave,
you have.
like a high caliber slave, pretty much.
What?
Yeah, like
is Pearl the very slim one?
The one that
she's-
has
yeah,
the 5 head.
the tall, skinny one with the gem in her forehead.
Yeah, the 5
Okay.
head.
But like, there's a whole. It's weird the level and depth that the show explores in terms of like, you know, racism. You know,
Yeah, it
there's
touches
a
on a
very
lot of
there's a
interesting
very
things.
black and white caste system in the gem world that they talk about, and you know, there's a story arc where a homeworld gem that I'm not going to identify gets like reformed, and she's casually racist like a lot of the time.
Oh damn!
For the first season that she's in, especially against Pearl, who is again a sex slave basically.
And who is this?
Who is what?
The
The
reformed
casually
one?
racist one?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say because I want you to watch the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't even say what color she is
Yeah.
because you don't get to see a lot of overlap in gem colors until real late in the show.
Yeah, that's true.
Gotcha.
One of the other
Alright.
things about it that's really good is like, unlike a lot of shows that have like the growing main character, where it's like basically Naruto, One Piece, every big shonen anime I can think of, even JoJo's is guilty of this, where it's like the way they gauge the character's strength is like they spend an entire one story arc where it's like, I have to learn this one technique, I've learned this technique, now I'm better. Like,
Yeah.
Steven Universe is super comprehensive to where every single like almost every other episode in season 1 and season 2, you see him slowly getting better and slowly learning his powers. And there's even a non-canon crossover episode with another show where he essentially learns his powers, or learns like the root of his powers, and they never harken back to it. They never call back to it, but from that point on, he like is more in control of his powers, so it's kind of like it is canon. It's funny.
They do address it here and there, like the one called Stephen Floats. I think specifically is the one where he extrapolates the connection between what does his powers and his powers.
Well, I mean, in the crossover episode, that's where he found out that emotions are.
That's
what,
the first time anybody says it out loud. Yeah.
And then like from then on, he figures out like what side of the emotions, like how the emotions work with his powers. Yeah,
it's a really good, really thick show, and despite the fact that it has a notoriously cancerous fan base,
yeah,
I highly recommend it.
That was another reason, because I go on the internet and I see a lot of stuff from like the fan base, and I'm like,
Well, here's the thing.
I mean, anything that identifies as a fandom is famous for a reason, but slightly overrated, probably.
My whole
yeah,
thing.
but okay,
Supernatural is cool, Doctor Who is cool, but their fans are just ugh.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and say this real quick. I think it's a weak answer to say like the reason why you stopped watching the show is like the fan base killed it. So that's not going to be my reason for not watching Steven Universe. My main reason is I saw it. I didn't really want to commit too much of like just getting turning it on Cartoon Network and seeing a new episode every like week it comes on. And and if I wanted to binge watch it, well, half of my free time is spent on video games, which I love a lot. And it's not just Steven Universe that suffers. It's a bunch of other shows.
Yeah.
Well, here's a fun tidbit of information that you might be happy to learn. Besides binge watching to catch up, Steven Universe fucking barely comes out. Like they released, I think in this last year, maybe a dozen episodes.
Yeah, that sounds about right. They did like 2 Steven bombs.
There's not like a regular season in syndication that you watch.
It's the Hunter x Hunter of cartoons.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean it's it's storyboard driven, and most of the key animations are done here in the States. So there's a lot of it that doesn't come around just because it takes time to make.
Yeah, but it makes it look so much better because of it.
It looks and it feels better, to the point where you can tell like when different artists are working on different episodes.
Yeah.
Like you can go online and you can find, people comparing like how Rebecca Sugar draws Pearl in certain episodes compared to how other storyboard artists.
there was a huge like infight with the community about a certain character's height in relation to other characters because of the changing artists.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it got kind of bad, but
it's cool though because in that regard it's a very like old school make as TV shows go, or as cartoons specifically go. So there's that too. Like as I always appreciate rad cartoons. That's why I'm still waiting for season 7 of Venture Bros.
Yeah.
They haven't put an episode out in something like
have you got
5 or 6 years.
Actually, first question, because this was actually one of the more current series that I've been watching. I haven't finished it yet, but I tend to sweep it up as soon as one of my good buddies.
Spit it out, man.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Do you guys have Netflix, by the way?
Yes.
I have access to show a legitimate, totally free legal service.
Okay. Have you guys seen the Ultron? No, not Ultron. Voltron, Legendary Defender.
I saw season 1, and I need to watch the rest of it. It's really good.
It's pretty good.
I don't like personally the giant robot Zentai thing. Doesn't really do much for me.
In all honesty, most of the time they're not even in their mechs. It's like a way more human series.
They really aren't, yeah.
It's really well done, and I mean, you know me, I have a major bias towards like mecha, but I'm also really snobby about mecha. And when it comes to like transforming,
I get that because I'm like a Gundam snob, I like Gundam and that format of mecha series.
Yeah, I prefer real robot taking place within a setting with like a very grounded military storyline that reflects war and human conditions, stuff like that. So, like, just having the giant space robot that saves everyone, I usually don't like, but it's a character show. It really is.
I will definitely say this. The amount of time they are in the mech is so little that the time the episodes where they do form Voltron, it means something. And it's like, oh shit, things are about to happen. This hasn't happened in a while. Let's go.
It's not like Power Rangers where every episode ends with a giant fight. And there's a few moments where it's like beyond better. Like there's one moment in season 1 where one of the characters like figures out something with his lion, and it goes more. It's like plus ultra. It's in the way it's animated and delivered, and I know what I'm talking about, Adam, right?
Yeah,
dude. No, like me and my wife were so hyped. We were like, no way, and then it happens, and it's one of those like, it's like when
this was with Shiro, right?
Is that the Red Lion? I'm talking about the Red Lion.
Oh,
the super anime moment. The super anime moment.
Never mind. I know exactly.
Yeah,
what
no, it's beautiful.
You turned so hyped so fast
because he remembered it. It's one of my favorite moments in animation. Period. Like, it's on par with like some of the shit from FLCL. Like, it's hype, it's gorgeous, and it's just so cool. And it's like you wish there were more moments like it, but at the same time, them lacking moments like it makes it shine so much better.
Oh yeah.
That's
like
fair.
they're almost never in the robot every episode.
You actually see them fight a lot on their own, and they're really cool when they fight.
Yeah, if I want to make a clear cut number, the amount of times where they do form Voltron and they're actually in the giant robot would be about 2 or 3 times in season 1.
Yeah, season 1, I think that's fair. There's like 3 giant monsters they fight, and it's like I think 12 episodes.
Yeah, and that's only like 2 or 3 times that they're even in the robot. Maybe 4, because I may like be forgetting like the season finale as well. Where I mean, of course, it's the season finale. There's got to be a giant robot fight in a season finale.
So, real quick, because we're reaching the end of our time here.
Are we? Damn.
Yeah. Was there anything that anyone wanted to talk about real quick?
I don't know. I want to ask, what's your favorite gem that isn't like the big 4 or 6, depending on how far in the series our viewers are?
Oh, like side characters? In all honesty,
yeah, but I'm not talking about like Lapis or Peridot.
No,
or
I know.
Like Holly Blue Agate.
I want the
Should I deafen real quick?
No, you're good.
Okay.
There's not any like because the thing is like I mean, you know,
Picking a favorite side gem is like picking a favorite Naruto ninja like before the time skip.
Yeah.
Like none of them are developed.
Yeah. I like the characters.
They're funny.
I like all of the security from the human zoo. Like
the Famethist?
Yeah, I want Famethist to come to Earth. Like I really hope that happens before Homeworld or happens mid Homeworld invasion, so that they're like we're the cavalry bitches.
I am super hyped for that, and
Yeah.
I hope that happens also. I really liked Topaz a lot. I like Topaz's gimmick.
Oh my god, dude! When Topaz had that one moment, I was like, oh.
It was like an in-joke at the series because there's like you can't go a season of Steven Universe now without a villain being reformed or somebody crying and learning a really important lesson about love or whatever. And like Topaz is this big, silent, terrifying force. And then the one thing she says is like, I've never wanted this for myself.
No, it's because there's like a
brilliant. I love it.
Well, real quick, Adam, there's like a mechanic in the storyline where like
she reforms so fast.
stones of the same type can like fuse together to make like a bigger version. But because their emotions, like their emotional spectrum and personalities are like pretty much the same, they kind of lose themselves into like this new identity. So like Topaz is talking about how like she can't tell the other Topaz that she forms with how much she means to her because they're always together. So it's like this existential crisis she has.
Oh man,
it's like
it's
so beautiful.
It's a little inconsistent. I don't know because there's other longtime fusions in the show that.
Well, no. It's if they're the same type because Ruby talks about it at one point.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, they lose themselves if they're the same gems. Like they essentially just become a new personality since they're all part of the same spectrum and stuff like that. But okay, so if if that's the last thing, I have a last question while we like eat this last 4 minutes.
Let's hear it.
Of any, it can be any source material. What would you guys like to see turn into an original series, and how would you like to see like what do you think should be done to make it good? Like what's mandatory?
Like a show about something or a show based on something?
Something based on something like a game, comic, manga, old movie, an ancient tale, poem, toys. I don't care.
I've got one.
Okay.
Nier.
I have not played those games, but I keep hearing how amazing the story is.
They are good, and I feel like more people need to know about this series, which is why I think like a TV series or something would be perfect, especially for those that haven't played the first Nier on the.
That's
Xbox
a lot of people
360
nowadays because Nier Automata sold astronomically well, and no one even knew there was a first game.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a thing too. It's also really hard to obtain, as well. So I would love a series about that. If they stick to the source material, keep it closely following the events of the games, I think you would have a winner there.
That sounds cool. I would like to see an actual, A-list studio, big, nice budget production that they actually take seriously and isn't garbage of Street Fighter.
I could see that, like, because it actually doesn't have that bad of a story.
No, the story is cool, and I'd like to see it laid out comprehensively in like a way that you can watch. It could totally easily be serialized, follow the adventures of like Chun-Li and Guile and Ryu and Ken, like the old.
The only issue is you just can't. The show just wouldn't be able to go anywhere near 5 because 5 is the giant fucking steaming shit-made monkey wrench. Like it's like if you took shit and formed it into a monkey wrench and threw it into the story of Street Fighter.
I mean,
they're all kind of hard, but
no. I know, dude. I know how bad the storyline is. Remember, me and you played through Alpha together. We played through 4 and did all the endings together. And
man,
it's even knowing all of that, It is
4 was
still,
hard to. You remember when 4 came out? Nobody even knew where in the timeline it was. Like, was
Yeah.
this pre-3 or post-3? Saget's
Yeah.
here, and I don't know why. Who's this guy Abel, and why does he have all the same moves
Yeah,
as
dude.
Urian?
Even with all of that garbage, 5 is still just fucking a burning. It's like, imagine if you had a dumpster filled with just the worst smelling trash, and you lit it on fire, and then you slid it down a mountain of trash in a landfill that was on fire while a volcano was erupting.
Story is kind of
questions, man.
Yeah, the story in 5 is pretty over the place.
Yeah, it ruins. No, I'm saying like I would love them to do what you were saying. I'm just saying they could not touch 5, like either 2, 3, or Alpha, or maybe 4.
They could touch.
You would
it,
have to
but
start
make
at
it
Alpha,
better.
obviously.
Yeah, Alpha would be good, and then you could go right into 2 and stuff like that, and then just before you get to 5, just be like, well, we're not going to touch 5 because 5 has a video game. Go buy the video game.
It's just like it has all of the key components necessary for a rad shonen anime. I mean, we're talking about everybody is just fighters, and they only ever line up for tournaments.
Yeah,
and I think it would be a really cool hype shonen anime.
I don't know, dude. Like the way they could easily do it is have it be like one season is just one like good long like Netflix style 30-minute episode per character of them like journeying and training, and then have season 2 like the actual fights.
Please don't hurt me, Bishop. But I kind of part of me kind of wants them to touch 5, but make it better.
I mean, if they could fix it, but they would have to retcon so much because so much of the actual plot of Street Fighter, like the storyline, is just garbage now. It's just they tried to make it convoluted and like interesting, and they failed miserably and fell right on their face. And it's just
I thought it was really cool when they set up for Gil. And like they set up to like introduce Gil and everything.
I don't know. It seemed just ham-fisted to me.
The parts with Charlie were cool. The parts with Nash were great. Charlie and Nash are the same character. By the way. I just remember they just started calling him Nash when 5 hit.
I mean,
sorry. I saw something Christian posted.
Oh boy, I haven't checked the Discord. Oh man, is that the drawing?
Yeah.
Oh goody. Okay, so
oh god, I wasn't expecting to laugh that hard.
Okay, so real quick, I'll wrap this up with mine. Like the thing is, I was thinking about 2 different ones, and one I would like to see. Although it's going to get a movie soon, so I don't think it would get a show. But I would love to see Hellboy get a Netflix series, and I would like it to be like animated in the same exact style as the original comics, and be like super accurate. And if anything, base the issues instead of doing like the actual storylines from the old trade paperbacks. Just find the good one shots and make each episode a one shot. To where like it would have the Aeon Flux feel, to where you could just watch any episode and it would be like its own self-contained story.
I would love that quite a lot.
Yeah,
actually.
And then they could even take episodes where they took a break from Hellboy and they did like the BPRD, like with I think it's the Amazing Screw-On Head was the series that they did for FX, where it was like a mini animated series where it's like the first BPRD soldier, and he was like this weird voodoo thing that worked for Lincoln that literally was a weird head on a screw, and they would screw it into a body for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, BPRD has some of the craziest and most interesting character designs, in my opinion.
I have another one, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got another one, too.
We can spill over a little bit. I just don't want to hit, like, too much after
2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway, and I might set off some people.
No, you're not. No one's listening yet.
Right.
Stop saying that.
Okay. I know the animated series or the animation of Persona 4 wasn't very widely received, and
I didn't mind it.
I've seen it myself, and I personally think it's not that great, but it does cover like the entire game, which I will give it that. But I would like them to do a series for the storyline around the Arena games.
I like Arena a lot.
Yeah, because it does have a storyline. It has a straight up story mode and everything. There's shit happening but between the two games, Arena and Arena Ultimax.
Yeah.
And there's things that you can totally take from there.
That is one of the most underrated
please,
fighting games in like the last decade, I think.
Yeah, just please, for the love of God, like don't do what Persona 4 the animation did. Let the fucking characters use their weapons and fight. Like that was my biggest problem. That was my biggest pet peeve with
Oh, how it was just the
Persona 4.
personas fighting the monsters?
Yeah, it was, and it made the characters look like we're useless without our personas. Where it's
Yeah.
like, no, freaking Chie is a kung fu master. Yosuke
Yeah.
is like quick as shit and has the kunais and shit.
Yeah.
Yukiko throws fans at you.
I
Naruto has a gun.
Ugh. Fuck. One before we leave, I just remembered that I would really love to see done as a Netflix small budget horror series. I read this comic a while ago called The Light. And you guys know how I am with zombies. I like them when they're done well, but I'm
gay for them.
I'm always down to give zombies a shot. Like, I mean, it's just 1 second.
Bless you. There it goes.
Oh, thank you.
I called it.
Okay, so The Light was a really interesting zombie series where it was like a weird signal gets broadcasted, and afterwards, anything that emits light essentially becomes toxic. Like everything glows like the strange glow, and when you look into it, it's what infects you. And the crazy thing is, like, the infection isn't like you simply just go around eating people and stuff. Like, you start burning from the inside out, and you're on fire. And anyone that sees you is also, like, transmitted. And, like, they have, like, this weird, like, need to, like, go after people, like, some weird primal thing. They don't explain it too much because the series is very mystique about it all. And I think that's part of what makes it so compelling because it's just so... mysterious, and it's just they work. It's done by the same artist that did 30 Days of Night as well. So it's got that very interesting watercolor, like scratchy look.
Right.
And
Yeah.
It was only 6 issues long, I think, 6 or 5, and it's just really interesting. It's about a guy who's trying to protect his daughter from this infection, and the entirety of the storyline, he has her wearing a blindfold, and he's wearing like welder's goggles to keep from seeing the light. And it's just him trying to, get to safety. And he keeps finding people, and like some of the people are like, the typical scavenger kind of shits, and then others are just like people that get infected and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting.
I also would like to see, and this isn't necessarily based on like a video game or anything, but I've been wanting for a while now one of two kinds of Monster of the Week, like serial dramas, like X-Files in the style of X-Files.
Mm-hmm.
That's either like straight Lovecraftian horror, like Elder Gods, Outer Gods, and the Dunwich horror, and all of those, or there it goes. It just flew right the fuck out of my brain. I've been wanting it forever, and now I'm on a show wanting to talk about it.
See, I know
SCPs, Secure, Contain, Protect. If they did like a straight face, not cringy copy pasta SCP X-Files, it would be really fucking cool.
They couldn't do SCP itself because like that has a lot of legal stuff involved with it. That's why all the major projects are all free. So it'd have to be like free on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they could Creative Commons it or purchase it. I mean, we're talking about Netflix, Disney. Like,
well,
we're in an era
the issue is that no one actually owns the rights to it. It's like
money.
I don't know. It's like weird because it's a giant community thing. Like anyone can submit an SCP.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if the guy that owns like the wiki where everything is submitted to wanted to be a piece of shit and sell out and put it to the community or whatever, it would be a neat concept. Or alternatively, you take the concept
inspired by it.
You take the concept. You maybe buy the rights to one or two.
Mm-hmm.
To kind of have in the background.
Yeah, like the big ones, like either like the stairs or the one you can't look, or you have to look at and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Some of the more iconic ones, have them pop up periodically, but for the most part, be one of those people and just write SCPs and have a serialized TV, like semi-horror, semi-detective show would be cool, I think.
An SCP-inspired series would be cool. And before we head out, I have one more because you inspired me to say something that I had the same idea. Like, I had something that had been bouncing around in my head where it's like, I would never want to make this, but I want to see it made.
True.
I want a new wrestling league in the same style as like WWF and WCW, where you watch it and it's people wrestling and stuff, but the entirety of it is themed after giant monsters and giant robots and
like kaiju.
Yes,
wrestling?
giant kaiju battle. Well, there is a kaiju wrestling league, but it's like really shittily done because it's still like people
It's
wrestling.
kaiju wrestling. It's gonna be shittily done.
Well, no. I mean, it's not like what I want to see. I don't want to see people dressed as kaiju in a wrestling ring. I want to see wrestlers dressed as kaiju in a fake city with, like, instead of it being people doing like WCW commentary, it's like newscasters like talking about the damage in the city.
That sounds like dumb fun, and I'm down.
That sounds like. So it's newscasters, but it's still presenting it like as a wrestling event with all the beef and smack talk.
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah.
So we'll use Godzilla as an example. Godzilla versus King Ghidorah.
Yeah.
King Ghidorah's on the stage and he's talking all kinds of smack about Godzilla. And
he'd be in the middle of the city. He would be in the middle of the city,
he's announcing to the city like he just drop kicked Godzuki.
Well, no. Here's how they could do it. Here's how they could do it. They could have, like, on a fishing line, like a ping pong ball that's dressed up with decorations to look like a weird floating microphone drone, and he would be talking into it, and you'd have the newscaster like, "We're getting in the automated AI translation from King Ghidorah. Let's listen in." And it would be like someone doing a bad, like, anime style or Chinese kung fu film style voice dub, where it's like while King Ghidorah's mouths are flapping. And just be like, "I am going to smack the ever-loving crap out of Godzilla this weekend." Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, but the thing is, because I tried watching that kaiju wrestling ring, and it literally was just WCW themed to where each of the wrestlers was a giant monster or a robot or something, but they still rest in a regular ring. Like, I want it to be to where they're in a fake city and will lift up a fake water tower and slam it onto the other's head.
Yeah.
Apologies for that noise that I just previously made. I was trying to mimic the King Ghidorah.
Is that what that was?
Well, I think we're gonna end it there with all the King Ghidorah.
It's Ghidorah.
No, Ghidorah, sir.
It's Ghidorah.
Hey.
Like a hat. What?
No,
Hey.
no, not.
I watched the Godzilla animated series, buddy. I should know.
Would you just?